Have you ever wondered how a role that catapulted you to international fame can also become a source of deep regret? Today, we're exploring the complex feelings of Robert Pattinson, a man whose breakthrough role as Edward Cullen in Twilight opened doors to global stardom, yet still leaves him with mixed emotions. In this video, we'll uncover the reasons behind his regret, the burden of typecasting, and the creative limitations that followed. What do you think it means when a career-defining role becomes a double-edged sword? Let's dive in. The Twilight phenomenon, a double-edged breakthrough. Twilight wasn't just a film series, it was a cultural phenomenon. For millions of fans around the world, Robert Pattinson's portrayal of the brooding, mysterious vampire Edward Cullen became iconic overnight. This role transformed him from an emerging actor into a global superstar, bringing immense fame, lucrative deals, and a devoted fan base. However, with great fame comes great expectations, and the intensity of the Twilight craze ultimately became a double-edged sword. While it provided an unmatched platform, it also set a standard that Pattinson would struggle to surpass later in his career. Can a breakthrough role ever be a blessing and a curse simultaneously? The burden of typecasting, living in a vampire's shadow. One of the most significant challenges Robert Pattinson has faced since Twilight is the heavy burden of typecasting. Being forever associated with the brooding vampire archetype made it difficult for him to break away and showcase his full range as an actor. Every role he took on afterward was inevitably compared to Edward Cullen, a character that, while beloved by many, came with its own set of expectations and limitations. The shadow of Twilight lingered long after the credits rolled, making it hard for audiences and industry professionals alike to see him in a different light. This struggle with typecasting isn't just about career choices, it's about personal identity and artistic freedom. How do you think an actor can reinvent himself when the world only sees one version of him? Share your thoughts on overcoming typecasting. Creative limitations, when a role becomes a cage. Beyond the challenges of typecasting, Pattinson has spoken about the creative limitations that came with his role in Twilight. The film series, with its formulaic narrative and rigid character archetypes, left little room for experimentation or growth. For an actor who thrives on diverse, challenging roles, being pigeonholed into one persona can feel like a creative cage. Robert has expressed in interviews that while he values the experience and the opportunities that Twilight brought him, he also regrets not having the chance to explore more nuanced, varied characters earlier in his career. That early success, tied so closely to a specific image, sometimes stifled the kind of creative risk-taking that many artists dream of. What do you think are the costs of being locked into a single role, and how can actors break free from that mold? Personal reflections, the price of fame and expectation. Looking back, Robert Pattinson's regret isn't just about the role itself, it's about the overwhelming pressure and expectation that came with it. Twilight's success brought not only fame and fortune, but also an intense public scrutiny that impacted his personal life and self-perception. The adoration from millions of fans, while exhilarating, also created a sense of obligation to constantly live up to an idealized version of himself. In his reflective moments, Pattinson has acknowledged that the early adulation made it difficult for him to discover who he truly was as an actor and as an individual. The persona of Edward Cullen became so ingrained that it overshadowed his personal growth, leaving him to navigate the chasm between public expectation and his own artistic vision. How do you balance the demands of fame with the need to stay true to yourself? Let's ponder the cost of losing oneself in the spotlight, the legacy of Twilight, lessons learned, and the road to reinvention. Despite his regrets, Robert Pattinson's experience with Twilight has not been entirely negative. It served as a powerful lesson in the volatility of fame and the importance of artistic control. Over the years, Pattinson has taken bold steps to redefine his career, choosing roles that challenge conventional boundaries and showcase his versatility. Films like Good Time and The Lighthouse have allowed him to break away from the vampire image and explore darker, more complex characters. His journey from Twilight to critically acclaimed independent films highlights the possibility of reinvention even after being so closely identified with one role. It shows that regret can be a catalyst for growth and change. What do you think is the most important lesson one can learn from a defining role that eventually becomes a source of regret? The future outlook, embracing a new chapter. As we look to the future, Robert Pattinson continues to evolve as an artist. His willingness to take risks, challenge his own limits, and redefine his image is a testament to his resilience. The path he's forging now is one that embraces complexity, depth, and authenticity, a stark contrast to the simplicity of his earlier fame. Pattinson's journey is a reminder that no matter how high the rise, it's possible to overcome the shadow of past roles and carve out a new identity. His story encourages all of us to embrace change, learn from our experiences, and pursue growth even in the face of regret. How do you think artists can use past experiences, even the painful ones, as stepping stones for future success? Consider the possibilities of a career reborn from the lessons of its past, struggles with self-image and public pressure. Beyond the professional challenges, Robert Pattinson has long wrestled with how the world perceives him. The overwhelming public adoration that once celebrated his transformation into a global star soon became a source of constant pressure. Living under the intense gaze of fans and critics alike, he found himself forced into an identity that wasn't entirely his own. The adulation for Edward Cullen often overshadowed his personal aspirations, leaving him to question if he was ever truly free to be himself. How does constant public scrutiny shape an artist's self-image? Could the burden of living up to a fan-driven persona eventually stifle one's true identity? Conclusion. Final thoughts. Navigating the complexities of fame. Robert Pattinson's tale is a compelling reminder of the intricate dance between success and sacrifice. His experience with Twilight, with all its glittering highs and shadowy lows, has shaped him into a more discerning and multifaceted artist. While he may regret aspects of his early career, he also cherishes the lessons it taught him about the burdens of fame, the perils of typecasting, and the importance of creative freedom. That's it for today's exploration of why Robert Pattinson regrets Twilight to this day. We hope his story inspires you to reflect on the true cost of early success and the transformative power of growth. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment with your thoughts on how artists can redefine themselves beyond their past roles. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.